On today's show, I have Forrest. Forrest is a teacher, speaker, performer, writer, internet broadcasting, an all-round entrepreneur. Hey, Forrest, nice to meet you. How are you?
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks for being here.
I'm glad to be here.
How are you today?
I'm excited.
You excited?
I am.
I love that word. Everybody in America is always super excited. Have you noticed that?
Well,
it's a thing. Do you know, it's what I love about being here in America. There's so much energy, so much passion. I've only been here a couple of years, but boy, what a great place to grow a business. Great people. But Forrest, we're here today to talk about you.
Okay.
Talk about what you do, your business, the man himself. So Forrest, tell me a bit about you. I know you're a teacher, a speaker, performer. Before we set up this afternoon, you were giving me a little bit of a demonstration. Was that a little song you were doing, or a?
I wrote it.
You wrote it?
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool, wasn't it?
I have 3 albums of my own songs.
Do you?
I've been in 3 movies.
Wow.
And 35 stage productions.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So how did it all begin for you, Forrest? Take us back to the very beginning.
I'd minored in voice in college on scholarship.
Right.
And they said in order for me to get the scholarship, I need to be in the musical every fall.
Right.
And I needed to go talk to the acting head of the department. And so I went to the acting head of the department. I was on the way over there. I thought, it must be a big department.
Right.
Have somebody be a head of the department just for acting.
Yeah.
So I get over there, and the receptionist, I said, "Is this a big department?" She said, "Well, sure it is. It's one of the biggest in the college." I said, "Well, so it's so big you have a head of the department just for acting?" She says, "No. He's an acting head because he doesn't have a degree." I said, "He doesn't have a degree? Why would you hire somebody without a degree?" She says, "Well, if he had a degree, he'd be the head of the department."
That's a good point.
I said, "Oh, okay. Well, okay. Where's he from?" She said, "Well, he's in his 70s, and at age 16, he started moving sets at the Old Vic Theatre in London. Then he got emphysema later, and he was looking for a small college to teach at, and I found him here in Central Texas. And I got the scholarship. And before I left college, I was in 12 productions with him. And I went to Austin and worked for the public school system. And Austin has 5 universities, and they all belch out teachers every semester. I had to have nighttime jobs, weekend jobs, summer jobs, holiday jobs to keep the teaching habit afloat.
Right.
And then finally in 1979, I started my own business where I could teach entrepreneurs, entertainers, and executives.
Wow.
And my best clients since 1979 have tripled their business in less than a year.
Hey, you're the man.
And that was in 79. Then I moved to Houston,
Right.
and I didn't know anyone.
Okay.
Now, Houston's the world's largest overgrown oil field boom town, and every boom town busts.
Right.
Okay? So they had boomed in 78 and 79, started sliding in late 82. Pink slips were going everywhere. And I got there in June of 83. "Hi, I'm here to make a living." And then we bottomed out in 86. Now, we had a joke in 86 to let you know how bleak it was.
Right.
Do you know the difference between a pigeon and a Texas oil man?
I've got no idea, Forrest.
A pigeon could still put a deposit on a Mercedes. It was tough. But I didn't know anyone when I got there in 83.
Right.
And so 2 couples introduced me to networking. And how they did it was they said to me, "We want to put you on our bulk mailing list." Please understand, 83, there's no internet, there's
Right.
no cell phones, there's no email.
Yeah.
So they would send out this sheet of paper, that was the invitation. I said, "Well, what do you do?" Because my business in Austin was all word of mouth.
Right.
They said, "Well, you pay your fee at the door, you walk in, and how many business conversations can you generate in a 2-hour period?" I said, "Well, great." So every time I went, there were 60 to 80 people. And getting my face in front of that many people each month, my business started growing like crazy. And then about 3 months went by, and one of the couples decided to get a divorce. And the remaining couple told me, "We're not going to do this by ourselves. We're entrepreneurs, we start stuff, but we're not managers, we don't run stuff." I said, "Well, I'm getting a lot of value. What are you going to do?" They said, "Well, we'll sell it." I said, Sell it? What are you going to sell?" I said, "Well, the name and the newsletter,
Yeah.
the mailing list to 700 people,
Yeah.
and the contract we have at the Houstonian Hotel." I said, "Well, good. Here's my check." Within 6 weeks, I had 1,750 people on the mailing list, and I was producing a meeting a week at hotels, country clubs, nightclubs, restaurants, and members' places of business.
Great.
Got here to Dallas-Fort Worth in 2005, and I didn't know anyone again. So I started going to networking groups from Waxahachie to Denton and from Weatherford to Allen, and I can tell you which groups to avoid.
Yeah.
Same 12 people sit in the same 12 chairs next to the same 12 people, say the same 12 words, you go 2 times, you got them all memorized. So then I started my own up here, and now my database is 10,000 people. But it's been earned, okay?
Yeah.
And I never bought lists and all that kind of stuff. What I did was I made it possible for me to go out and meet as many people as I could.
It's all about people, right?
Exactly.
Making those relationships.
Our currency actually is relationships.
Yeah, I agree.
And I tell people all the time, who you are is more powerful than your circumstances.
Yeah.
So when we get to know one another, then we have a basis for a relationship. And that can grow and grow and grow. Everything I've really gotten in my career, I've gotten through networking.
Yeah, me too.
That's all. I mean, every aspect.
Absolutely.
Even my wife.
Really?
Yeah, I was single in 1989, and a friend of mine had a relationship workshop.
Where's your wife today?
She's gone to Houston for a conference.
Okay.
Anyway, I was single, and I'd been single for about 10 years, and he asked me to come and be a part of the studio audience. So when I got there, I was just parking my car, and Cindy was walking up the other side of the street with a cooler in her hands, red with a white top, and had soft drinks in it. And I thought, wow, this is not going to be a boring day in seminar. And so we went in, and she sat right in front of me. And there were 6 people on my left, and there were 6 people on her left. And Bill got up and said, okay, well, there's an aisle on my right. And Bill got up and says, okay, we got to tweak the camera and check the lighting and all that. Why don't you turn to somebody, even if you don't even know them, and chat for a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
So all 6 people on my left turned to each other. And all 6 people on her left turned to each other. And she turns around and she says, hello. I was very quiet.
I could.
And finally Bill got up and said, okay, we're ready to start. And so he said, hug your partner, let's go. Do you know how hard it is to hug a beautiful woman with a chair back in your way? And the very first topic was how to have more love in your life.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
Then we had another topic, and then after that, I carried the red Igloo cooler back to her car, not knowing I'd be carrying it the rest of my life. So I asked her if she'd like to eat Mexican food and listen to live music. She said, sure. So I showed up at her house at 7:15, and I had my guitar in its case, and she looks at me, and she looks at it, and she looks at me, and she looks at it, and she says, okay, where are the burritos? I said, right, I'm the live music. So she invited me in. I sat in the middle of the sofa, and she sat in a reclining chair. She says, what's that? I said, well, it's my 12-string guitar. I write my own songs and sing. She said, well, what are they about? I said, well, my daughter and my family and places in Texas. She said, I want to hear them. So my songs with the introductions, it's a 3-hour concert. So I started singing at 7:30. I'd met her at 9 that morning. So it got around to 5 minutes till 9 that evening, and she said, you know, I really enjoy these songs. They're very, very beautiful. You sing from your heart, and I just have to let you know, I have to be responsible and tell you how I'm feeling. Now, you may not be feeling this way at all, but I have to tell you how I'm feeling. I said, well, okay, what? She said, well, I don't do sleep around, I don't do girlfriend, I don't do long distance. If you want to see me, Forrest, you need to marry me.
Wow.
And
what a beautiful story, Forrest.
That was 30 years ago.
30 years ago. Is it exactly 30 years?
Well,
so
last September is 30 years.
Wow.
But we met on July 7th, married on September 3rd.
Well, when she watches this, what's your wife's name?
Cindy.
Cindy.
Yeah.
I think you need to talk down to that camera right there and tell Cindy how much you love her.
Cindy, I love you. That's why I write songs about you. So,
what a great guy. 30. I can see why you've been married for 30 years, mate.
am I blushing?
Yeah, that's great. No, seriously. So this is what you do now. This is your business. I mean, there's so many things that you do here. You teach, you speak, you're a performer, a writer, networking, internet broadcasting. You know, I feel honored sat talking to you, because this is our very first episode of this chat show, and to have you join me, I feel like I'm learning from you. This is just what a great first guest.
When I met you the other day, I really was drawn to how much you know and how much you do, and the expertise you have. I want to learn from you.
Well, I think we're learning from each other, mate.
We're going to have a great time together, you know?
And we're going to go to a fish and chip shop, right?
Yes.
That's really important for me.
It's called From Across the Pond is the name of the place.
Right.
Fish and chips.
So listen, Forrest, if people want to get hold of you, I'm going to leave all the information below. Underneath this video will be the tags and the information. We'd like to thank also Expanse, Rick Rawson, for bringing us today to this beautiful location. We're here in downtown Frisco. This is the Star. This is the home of the Dallas Cowboys, so we're really excited to be here. And we'd like to thank Rick Rawson and Expanse for putting all this on today for us to be able to do this. And Forrest, thanks for being my first guest.
Sure.
Please make sure that you reach out to Forrest. It is forrestalanward.com, and we're going to share and post this video all over the world on multi-streaming and all that kind of stuff. It's been a real pleasure to meet you, sir. This has been fun. My very first time. I hope everything works okay. This has been great.
It'll be great. I mean, the other folks that I've met today, you've got some outstanding guests. So,
Forrest, thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
Good luck, mate.
Okay. Okay, mate.